co-living spaces. These are the kind of places wherein you will share the entire place and you will have your private bedroom and private bathroom. In last 2 years, we have been moving to 4 different places. We have been hopping, we have been shifting our stuff from one place to another. What is the difference between first-hand contract and second-hand contract? Hi guys, how are you doing? I am doing super good. I am doing amazing like always. And I welcome you back once again on my channel. Finding a house, finding a decent home for yourself is always challenging in Sweden. In this video, I would like to talk about everything that you should know about finding a rental properties in Sweden. How to find a home, how to find a house, what are the different platforms wherein you can look for rental properties. If you are in the process of finding a house in Sweden, then I'm sure you must have heard about the terms like first-hand contract and second-hand contract. What is the difference between first-hand contract and second-hand contract? And how can you find a house, how can you find a place for yourself with these two different kinds of contract? And I would love to talk about different scams, different scandals happening in Sweden's housing market. How can you safeguard yourself? How can you not fall for any kind of scam and find decent home for yourself? For that, please stay tuned till the end. In this video, we will exclusively talk about rental properties. If you are someone who is looking to buy a property, who is looking to buy a house in Sweden, then I have already covered those topics in my previous videos. Please do not forget to check out that. And also, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. For a rental property, if you are looking for a rental house, then I'm sure you must have heard this from your family, friends, or maybe through different videos that finding a house in Sweden is difficult. I would say finding a house for long term is much more difficult than finding a house for short term. Recently, I have completed my 2 years in Sweden, and in last 2 years, we have been moving to 4 different places. We have been hopping, we have been shifting our stuff from one place to another, and finally we have bought our own place, we have bought our house, and I'm hoping I will live here long and I do not have to hop from one place to another. I do not have to keep on moving, keep on shifting my stuff. There are 2 main reasons that why you cannot get a rental property for long term. The very obvious reason is population is increasing day by day and not many new houses are being built with the same speed. The second most important reason is, as an owner, when I own this property, when I own this apartment, let's say I want to move out to some different city or different country. In that case, if I would like to rent out this property, first of all, I have to take permission from the association, from the building owner that I would like to rent out this property. The association gives permission for 1 year. In maximum cases, association gives permission only for 2 years. You cannot rent out a property for more than 2 years. So after 2 years, I will be left with only 2 options. Either I sell out this property or I keep this house empty but do not rent out to somebody else. So in Sweden, you cannot buy a property and rent it out to someone else forever or for long term. And that is the main reason that why you cannot get a house, why you cannot get a rental property for long term. You have to keep hopping every year. You have to keep shifting from one place to another place every year, which is really not something I would look forward for. As I said earlier, there are 2 types of rental properties that you can get in Sweden, through first-hand contract and through second-hand contract. Through first-hand contract, in most of the cases, you will get the rental property directly either from the association or from the building owner or from the corporate. You are paying the rent directly to the association. The main advantage of getting a house, getting a property through first-hand contract is you do not have to vacate the house every year. You can get a house for long term since you are getting the house directly from the association. Also, the rent in case of first-hand contract is lesser compared to the house that you get through second-hand contract. But the catch here is, to get a first-hand contract, you have to be in the queue for very long. I would say Swedish people's one favorite thing is to be in the queue. Likewise, to get a house through first-hand contract, you have to be in the queue. Now, what kind of queue it is? Every municipality have different queue to rent out the houses through first-hand contract. For different cities, the different municipalities, the website is different. You can look for your own municipality or you can look for the municipality where you would like to stay and register yourself in the queue. In the queue, in most of the cases, in most of the municipalities, you do not have to pay. But there are some municipalities wherein you probably have to pay some minimum amount. For example, in case of Stockholm, to be in the queue, you have to pay, I think, 225 crowns per year. So you register yourself and pay 225 crowns every year and be in the queue. Like in our case, we are in the queue for last 2 years. Now, once I register myself, once I am in the queue, what happens next? Let's say there is a property in particular area and I have registered myself in that area's municipality. So what I can do is I can go and check on that property what is my number in the queue. Let's say that property is in center of the city. My number in the queue may be at 400. So the other 399 people have to let go that property, then only I will get the chance to get that property. But the far away you go from the center of the city, the far away you go from the high demanding areas, your chances to get the property, your chances to get the house through first-hand contract increases. If you are in the queue at the place maybe second, third, or maybe at the fourth, the association might contact you and might ask you, are you interested in this property? You can go and visit that property. Let's say you are in the second place and the person who is at the first place denies to take that property, then you will be offered that property and then you can get that house, you can get a rental house through first-hand contract. It takes years to get a decent house in a decent area. But it is always advisable, the moment you come to Sweden, the first thing that you should do is register yourself to get a house through first-hand contract. It is always good to have a house through first-hand contract than having your own property or even going to get a house through second-hand contract. You can log in on different municipalities' website only through your personal number. Having a personal number in Sweden is very, very essential. I have said this many times in many of my videos and I would like to say this again. Having a personal number in Sweden is really important. When you get a house through first-hand contract, the house will not be furnished. You might have to invest a little bit. Probably you have to buy a bed, sofa, TV, kind of stuff that you would like to have in your house. When you are getting a property through second-hand contract, your rent might be a little higher compared to the same house that you might get through the first-hand contract. The second most important thing, as I said earlier, is you might not get that property for long term. You might get a contract maybe for 6 months, maybe for a year, and then maybe again you have to renew the contract, or maybe you have to change the place. You have to find a new house for yourself. But the main advantage is you can get the house through second-hand contract easily. It is not as difficult as getting a house through first-hand contract. You do not have to wait in long queue. There will be private owners who can rent out their property through second-hand contract. For example, we own this property, we own this apartment, and if we would like to rent out, then we will rent out this property through second-hand contract. When we are subletting this property to someone else, it will be subletted as second-hand contract. Even in case of first-hand contract, you can sublet your property. Let's say I own a house, I own an apartment as first-hand contract. I can sublet that house, I can sublet that apartment to someone else as a second-hand contract. But in every case, to sublet your house, to sublet your apartment, you have to take permission from association. And as I said earlier, association will give you permission maybe for a year or maximum for 2 years, but not more than that. You cannot sublet your house even in case of first-hand contract, or even if you own your house, you cannot sublet your house for more than 2 years, and that is the main limitations in case of second-hand contract. Talking about different platforms wherein you can find a rental house for yourself. If you are looking for house through first-hand contract, then you have to be in the queue of different municipalities housing queue. For Stockholm, it is bostad.stockholm.se. I think for Gothenburg, it is Boplats. And for the different municipalities, you will have different housing queues. You register yourself with your personal number and be in the queue. There are multiple platforms, there are multiple forums wherein you can find a house through second-hand contract. Blocket is very famous. Apart from that, you also have Bostad Direct. You can also find a rental house through second-hand contract on different Facebook groups. You can show your interest on different Facebook groups, or probably you can write a post and ask the group members that I am looking for a house, this is me, this is my family, this is what I do, and I am looking for a house. Probably you might get a potential owners who would like to rent out their property. If you are looking for a house, the very important thing that you should do is give details about yourself. Let's say you are looking for a house on Blocket and you liked a property and you would like to contact the owner. So when you are writing a message to the owner, please give a thorough details about yourself so that owner will know what kind of person are you, and probably your chances to get the house can increase. It's like sending your resume to a job. Of course, you do not have to send a 2-3 pages your bio. You just have to tell them that maybe you are family of 3 or 4, are you a smoker, do you have any kind of pets, where do you work, do you have a stable income, so that owner knows that you are eligible to pay the rent, you have a stable income, and maybe you are a right candidate to rent a house. If you are a student, in most of the cases, you will get the accommodation through your university. When you are applying for studies, when you are applying at the college, at universities, please reach out to them and ask as many questions as you can ask regarding your accommodation. If you are studying in Stockholm and if you would like to register yourself for Students Housing Queue, then probably you can register yourself in Stockholm Students Housing Foundation. I think for different municipality, again, for the students, you might have different housing queues to get the house through first-hand contract. Every municipality have few restricted properties which they would like to rent out only to the student. Even for the second-hand contract, if let's say you're looking on the Blocket or on any different platforms, you can maybe filter out for the students and you will be shown some restricted properties which will be rented out only to the students, and your chances to get a house might be better compared to the employed person. Apart from getting your own rental place or apart from getting your own rented house, you can also try out co-living spaces. These are the kind of places wherein you will share the entire place and you will have your private bedroom and private bathroom. You will have your own private space, but the other common areas, maybe the kitchen, living area, the dining area, you will share with different people. You will be sharing your space with so many different nationalities. You can explore so many different kind of foods since the kitchen will be shared. From the monetary point of view, it will be a really cheaper option. If you are someone who would like to explore the co-living spaces, then you can look for a place on blocket.se, or there is also one more web page called colive.se, or you can even Google what are the different co-living spaces, what are the sharing spaces available in your city, in your municipality, and you can try out that option. Personally, I have not lived in any of the co-living spaces in Sweden, but I know few of my friends who live in such co-living spaces. Trust me, when I see the photos of my friends, I feel like they're having party every day. Sweden is a place where it's really difficult to find friends. If you are a very social person, then I would say co-living spaces is a much better option for you. In Sweden, there is a high demand for rental properties, rental houses, and there is a lesser supply. So when you are in a desperate need to find a rental property, rental house, there are people who try to take advantage of your desperation. The first and foremost thing that you can do to stay away from such kind of scam is, of course, do not pay rent to any of the property in advance. Have a look at the physical property. If possible, visit the owner and then only pay the rent, or do not pay any advance rent before moving. If you are moving from different country, different places, in that case you have to be all the more careful. If you have to move and if you do not find any place, try out Airbnb, but do not pay rent in advance. Recently I have read a case on Facebook that a person was looking for a house, so he got in touch with the owner. The owner gave him a contract which looked very legit. Even the owner gave the keys of the house to the person who was looking property. You have the keys, you have the contract, so the person, he transferred the rent in advance to the owner. Finally, when he actually went to the property, he could not open the house with that keys. Those keys were fake, that property was fake, even the ad was fake. So please be careful. The second thing that you can do is, when you get in touch with any owner, you just search for that particular name on hitta.se. Hitta.se is a public platform wherein you can find out a person's detail. If that person is genuine, you will find the details of that person on hitta.se, where he or she is working, what he do, what is the age of him or her, where he or she is living currently. You will find various details on hitta.se, and probably you can verify that details with that person, and you can cross check and you can be assured that the person you are talking to is a real person and it's not a fake ad. And also, very important thing is, please be careful while sharing your personal number with anyone. It can be misused. So please be mindful with whom you are sharing your details. Finally, we have come to an end. I hope the information that I have shared is helpful and you will find your dream home in Sweden, and I wish you a very best of luck for that. I will come back again on this channel on a new day with a new video on a new topic. Till then, please stay tuned. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. Bye.